Hey crew, Conrad coming at you today with a couple of things. First, I want to give you the heads up that just a couple of weeks we're going to have the Old School Roundup, March 4th, 2023. I'd also like to take a trip down memory lane and take a look at some of the sand cars that were super popular from back in the day and see if anybody knows where they're at. Call them out and drag them out, right? But before we get to that, first and foremost, I need to give a shout out to Josh over at Old School Sand Cars on the Instagram, right? You're going to want to head over and check this out because this is where I pulled all of the photos that I use for going down memory lane. He has the most extensive collection of photographs for the Glamis sand dunes and the old sand cars that I've ever seen. I mean, this is just an iconic picture right here, right? The zebra car jumping the Olds double back in the 1990s. So head over there, subscribe to his Old School Sand Cars Instagram, and also go to his website and pick up some swag. Okay, now back to our regularly scheduled program. Man, that was a mouthful. All right, check this out. The Old School Roundup, there's a couple of events happening that weekend. So you're going to have the meet and greet out at Oldsmobile Hill Friday, March 3rd at 7 p.m. Bring some firewood, some chairs, and some long clothes because it's going to be cold. Also, March 4th, you want to get your cars there about 9 to 9:30 a.m. Right behind the Glamis store will be the Old School Roundup itself. And what will we find there? I'm glad you asked. Let's see, we have awards. Oh, speaking of awards, Best in Show is absolutely fantastic. Well, let me show you last year's real quick. So here's last year's award while it's under construction, right? I mean, this is handmade. Check out the piston, the cylinder, the tubing, the whole nine, right? And last year's winner, Mr. Bill Schuster holding it. Look at all the powder coat and paint and the whole nine on this. This is an award you're definitely going to want to win. This award is super cool. It's modeled after somebody else's car. I'm not going to say whose. This year's award, I've had a sneak peek on it for the Best in Show. It is super bitchin'. You are definitely going to want it. I'm not going to show it to you. I'm not going to let the cat out of the bag on that, but it is just as nice. Amazing awards. Great job to the Old School Roundup team. I cannot wait for this show. Okay, let's jump back in. So let's say, what did I say awards? Best in Show, plus a couple of other new classes this year that yours truly gets to be a judge for. Super excited. Thanks for the invite. And then swag. So there's going to be t-shirts as well for sale. Raffle. A lot of sponsors this year. There's going to be some bitchin' stuff. You're going to want to get your raffle tickets. That's held, I don't know, right around noon. Also, what did I say? Bonfire Friday night. And oh yeah, camaraderie. Come hang out with all your friends at the Old School Roundup. Last year, there was around 150 cars that showed up. This year, let's double that. So let's call out all these guys with these old school cars. Let's take a look. Awesome toy. I think this is a Frameworks chassis. I'm not exactly sure. I'm just going from memory. I didn't have a chance to interview these folks, right? But this is from back in the day. Lightweight, big horsepower sand slinger, right? This is going to be a hill shooter sand drag car. Legendary, right? Bring it out! All right, next. How about fried rice? Last time I saw this car, it was rebadged, right? It's no longer called fried rice, but I know it's floating around. I think back in the day it had a Toyota V8 in it. You're going to have to correct me if I'm wrong. But check out this shot at Oldsmobile Hill in the 1990s. Super bitchin'. Oh, look it. There's a Sand Cars Unlimited. Oh, is it? Yeah, it is. That's an old Sand Cars Unlimited, one of my favorite mid-engine chassis. Anyway, I digress. Next. And then there's this car by Sandro Manufacturing. I'm just like, I will own this car one day. So myself and Steve, Mr. Obsessed Brooks, are actually working Billy Ruff right now, trying to get him to bring it out to the Old School Roundup. I mean, it's an epic car. I haven't seen it in 20 years, and I kind of want to touch it, feel it, sit in it, fire it up, see if it'll let me drive it. But otherwise, this was a cover car for Sand Sports Magazine back in the day, and I remember that coming at you shot where you're doing that wheel stand, and I was just like, oh my gosh, so bitchin'. Okay, next. How about the Tri-5 Chevy sand car? Where's this car now? I know that it used to be owned by the construction guy. Gosh darn it, I can't remember what his name is. Anyhow, this car, again, was one of those, when it hit, it was like, oh my gosh, nobody had really seen anything like it. And I don't think anything's been built like it since. But otherwise, where is it now? Bring it to the show. Let's show it off. I mean, this is just, yeah. Okay, next. Not only that, but some fellas like Harold, they're bringing out 2 sand cars. That's right. The Sandalac will be there. You've got to hear this car fired up and run the hill. It is one of the most iconic, legendary cars out at the dunes. Thank you, Harold, for bringing it out. And then he's also got this other mid-engine right here. Oh no, is it a Volkswagen? I forget. Anyway, I can't really tell because it's upside down and crashed. Seems to be a theme with Harold. Just saying, buddy. All right, let's jump into the next. And here's another car when it hit the pages of Sand Sports Magazine where I think myself and many others were just like, the Lightning Buggy. This is a Suspensions Unlimited 2-seat mid-engine VW-powered car owned by the legendary Schley brothers who campaigned a VW drag car back in the day, as seen here. And that's why it's the Lightning Buggy, right? We've got the Lightning Bug, the Lightning Buggy. How's your VW history? I'm an old VW guy myself. Strictly sand cars these days, but there's a little bit of history for you on the Schley brothers and this car. Where's it at? Bring it out. All right, next. Or maybe you've got a unique buggy, right? Buggy with no name. Driving through the desert in a buggy with no name. I can't help it, you guys. Sand Rocket. So these cars came out, what? Somewhere in the mid-1990s, somewhere along those lines. Front engine sand cars. These things absolutely haul ass. They're so much fun to watch at the hill. If you've got something like this, we want to see it. Bring out your Sand Rocket, your front engine V8, your unique builds, right? Bring them to the show. All right, next. And then there's Flashpoint. OMG. I don't think I need to say anything else about the car. How epic is this machine? All aluminum? I don't know what kind of horsepower he's running in this thing, but e-ticket ride for sure. Scary fast, without a doubt. This car needs to be seen in person and we need to see it run at the hill. All right. Next. How about the Sandrails Unlimited Top Dog that was built by Emil Miller, I believe. I'm sure. Come on, you guys. I'm testing my knowledge on this because I'm really just doing this from memory. I know this car's around because I saw it last year at Josh's event. He had an old school car show down in Yuma. Buy his merch. All right. Next. Okay, guys, now here's a rare car. Does anybody have a Nicholson Fab or a Malcolm Unique Metal Products 2-seat mid-engine? There was only a handful of these cars made, and there are enough of us that want one. These sleds are bitchin'. I mean, I've always loved the fact that the B-pillar is so short and the carbs stick out the back. I mean, it's just such a small cockpit. Lightweight hill shooter. These things are amazing, and I'd really like to see one in person. I might have seen one drive by and didn't even realize it, but there's only a handful of them out at the dunes. I sure would like to see one at the show. Bring it out. I mean, who's got Mike Mazzone's personal sled from back in the 90s? This all aluminum 2-seat mid-engine car, right? I've always loved his unique features that he has in them. The front wheels are drilled out, right? And then he puts a tube in there and then he welds it in. He doesn't just drill them out. He does the extra details on it. The back wheels, he would cut out the CNC had 5 holes in them and he would cut out the rear wheels to match. His underfloor pedals, some of the details for the dash. I mean, just, I don't know. If you got the car, bring it, please. Pretty please. Okay. So a car that needs no introduction, right? I mean, if you know, you know. If you've been in this industry for long enough, Blue Thunder is one of the most epic sand cars to hit the hill. I'm not sure where it's at. I've seen pictures of it, though. I just remember, did you see it? That my noodle was like, I was going back in the files, like the computer files. It's dirty. I remember seeing pictures of it somewhere recently. It's just covered in a layer of dust. So if you've got it or you know who's got it, clean it up and bring it out. We all want to see Blue Thunder. Where's the Funko guys at? Where's all the Gen 1s that started the airbag craze? This is Jerry Dixon's old car, and I know he just sold this a year or two ago, so it is still floating around. Bring it out. Show us where Funko began in airbags. And a Wampus Skitty, if you've got one of those too. If you don't know what that is, Google it. Bring your Gen 1s, 2s, 3s, 4s. Bring them. Does anybody remember this contraption? I remember being at Oldsmobile Hill in the 1990s, and he didn't actually drive it out. It was hooked to another buggy, and the front end was up, and it was towed out to the hill. All I know is it has big VW power, and it weighs, I think, like less than 500 pounds. Unbelievable. But it's since disappeared. I sure would like to see this car again. Super unique, epic machine. All right, moving on. Then there's the Sand Cars Unlimited with a Scat V4 in it, half a heartbeat away. He was trying to reach 299 on the drag strip. Did he make it? I don't know. I'm not a sand drag guy yet. I'm just a pretty much straight up sand duner. I do recall seeing a few years back that the car was sold and the dude that bought it pulled the engine out and then was selling the rest of the car as a roller. So I know it's floating around. It's somewhere. But again, it's another one of those iconic machines. Okay. Anybody got any Jim Edom cars? These are really unique. And this car, actually, I have seen it up for sale recently. So these are really unique. These aren't your cookie cutter run-of-the-mill chassis that were built in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. If you ever find a Jim Edom car, pick it up. Otherwise, buy it, bring it out to the show. Just saying. How about Backdraft? Boy, I'll tell you what, if I could have one of every car, this would be one of them. Big horsepower, turbo 4-cylinder. I mean, look at comp cut paddle tires, super lightweight. I mean, come on, guys. We've got to be at what, like 700-800 pounds with maybe 300-400 horsepower. You guys want to go fast? That's the car. Super bitchin'. Somebody bring it out. And yes, long before Monster Energy, there was the Monster Sand Car. I don't know who built this. I don't know the history on it. I just remember seeing it run around the dunes and thinking, how in the hell did they transport it to the dunes? Because the front end on this car is like, I don't even know how wide, but it's another one of those that it's like, where is it now? Is it sitting on the side of somebody's shop or somebody's house, or has it just been completely disassembled and parted out? I don't know. I sure would like to see it again. It would be a lot of fun to have at the show. Just drag it out. We all want to see it. All right. And yet another legendary car, Instigator. He also had a mini buggy that was like Instigator 2. I think it was Instigator TOO. I don't know. It's been a long time since I've seen these cars. Super epic build. I mean, look at the wheelie bar on that. Again, lightweight, big horsepower, super fun hill shooter. I really dig it. Don't know where it is. Hope it's there. Who's got one of these? Did you know Dirty Bob had one as well? I do know a little bit of history on these. There was a handful of them made out of San Diego. These are actually BLM buggies. So they had 2 seats, they had the stretcher in it and the whole 9 yards. And then once the BLM was done with them, they put them up for sale. And a few of them survived. You know, they made it out there. Dirty Bob's was one of them, that blue one with the polished center lines on it. Really fun car. He used to do wheel stands out in the mini dunes, right? You can probably see it on Go For It at Glamis. Oh my gosh, it's coming back to the video. Go For It at Glamis. I gotta get that VHS tape so I can show you guys that footage of Dirty Bob. Anyhow, these are super cool as well. Got any unique buggies? Throw them on the trailer, bring them out. All right, next, Aftershock. Now this looks like a pretty current picture sitting in somebody's shop, and boy, does it look nice. Bring it out to the dunes, put the tires in the sand, fire this thing up, let's hear it run. This is another legendary car that everybody wants to see. Aftershock is certainly a bitchin' car. I don't know the specs. I mean, if you don't bring it, where's your shop? I think I'm just going to come out to your shop and we're going to do a walk around on it. But yeah, it's cool. Next. And finally, I'm going to close it out with the 38 Special. Why? 2 reasons. 1, I know it's going to be at the show. And 2, it's owned by Scott Ailes, who is hosting the event. So you're definitely going to want to check this car out. Super fast car, turbo Volkswagen. Really cool. Last year's trophy was modeled after this car right here. That's what I was saying earlier in the video. All right, go check it out, and then let's go ahead and close this out. Hey, you know what? Let me mention this really quick too. Maybe your car's not even finished. I mean, here's mine. I don't even have an engine in it yet, but I'm still going to drag it out and throw it on the sand. We're going to be building this up with episodes on YouTube from here over the summer and then debuting it in October. Maybe fully finished. I'm not exactly sure. But even if you got a car that's dead, bring it out, right? All right, I'll stop yakking at you and let you get about your day. Don't forget to subscribe. Thank you for watching. See you in the dunes.